Hello, hello. Welcome to X Talk, a show where we sit down with your favorite artists, entertainers, and content creators to talk explicitly about all things extravagant. My name is Markus X, and today I'm joined by Futurristic. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hi. So
All
good to
right.
be here. Thanks for inviting
Yes.
me, Marcus.
Well, thank you for being here. For everybody who's listening, for people who are watching, Futuristic goes by Future with her friends, but artistically, you'll see on Instagram or social media, Spotify with her music, you'll see Futuristic is the name. To kick us off, will you tell us, can you introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, where you're coming from, what you do creatively, please.
Yes, so my name is Future. I live and breathe in Berlin, Germany. I grew up in Munich and I like everything extravagant, I'd say, and everything
A little extra.
little extra. Not a clean
Yes.
girl.
Yes. You're our first international guest.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
Yes,
So you've
international
reached
pussy.
overseas now.
I've reached overseas. Worldwide domination. Marcus X
Yes,
domination. Worldwide. Global
yes.
pussy. All right. So for people who aren't watching this on YouTube, who may be listening, Future has beautiful, long yellow hair. The face is beat down. Tell us what you do creatively for people who have never seen you perform live. Let's get into art.
First of all, I do art. For me, it's sometimes very difficult to say what exactly because I kind of do everything that I
Mm.
feel like doing. And I have a lot of hobbies. I've always had a lot of hobbies. But first of all, I think when you see me like that, you just say, oh my God, is that a girl? Is that a boy? Is she trans? What is that? She, they, them, him, he,
He
him.
who yeah.
I've had this one super weird encounter where I was just walking home from the clubs on a Sunday at like 11 in the morning or something, and the super drunk guy just screamed at me like, "Dress like a real man." I'm just
Oh,
like, well,
you're
I'm
like,
just
so
this little
actually.
cis mousy.
Uh,
Like, well,
okay, well let's
no,
clear the air.
but thank
Yeah,
you.
let's talk about it.
So
So,
you could call me a drag artist, I'd say. Yeah, I do drag because I enjoy makeup very much, and I'm part of the queer community and have a very, very good and big connection to that community. And yeah, that's what I do, I guess. And also, I kinda like the attention.
mm,
So when no one else would put me on the stage for any reason, I just start doing drag and put myself on stage. So that worked out pretty well.
okay.
Yeah, so now I'm here.
So you're a cis female who does drag. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
Like these are I whenever I do these, I'm like this like shit that I know personally, but like I feel like I have to break it down to like, the simplest level just because it's like, people who may be listening to this like just have no clue or like, if they're not watching the video, like it's just let's break it all down, you know. Um
Of course. Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I get this question a lot usually, like not in the community, but outside of the community.
Yeah.
So what I'm kind of used to saying is that drag as an art form is an expression or overexpression of gender, which
Mhm.
can go in many, many ways. And I mean, we usually just talk about drag queens a lot because they're the most shocking to society, but simultaneously, drag kings have also existed for centuries,
Yeah.
and all different kinds of like drag expressions. And in an art form where you over exaggerate gender or where gender is like the focus, it's kind of counterproductive to exclude a gender from doing that because that
100%.
should be for every gender if it's about gender. And the way, like, whatever you choose to do with that is your own choice, and all drag is valid. Not all drag is good, but all drag is valid.
Hey, everybody
I
starts somewhere, right? Like everybody starts somewhere, or that's just where they reside for however long.
and also in our world of Drag Race and all of that, which I do enjoy watching, but it I feel like Drag Race very much sets a standard for what a drag queen should be or what a drag queen does.
Hmm.
When in reality, a drag queen can do whatever. Like there are stand-up comedians doing drag. There's people doing drag shows or DJs. There's also people who don't do any of that shit and do something completely different. You can like I don't know, like you can have a cooking show as a drag queen if you enjoy
Yeah.
cooking and be a chef, like whatever. It's uh it's like it doesn't mean um that you have to do the splits on stage
Hmm.
necessarily, or that you have to do lip sync performances. There's drag queens with beautiful voices that do like opera singer style stuff, whatever. Like you
Yeah.
can do,
Well,
yeah,
also, I feel like also it's just like all of this shit is just made up. Like all of everything that we know in
yeah,
society, like everything's just fucking made up. And so it's like, bitch, if you want to go outside and you want to be dressed in a fucking tube sock with nipple tassels and whatever else on, like that's your prerogative. You know what I mean? Like clothes aren't gendered. You know, this is just like societal constructs that we've just tacked onto shit. You know. So I love when people are brave enough to be able to just live their truth, whatever that may look like, regardless of, you know, however they identify, what they feel is like their truth. It's just like, fuck it. Like, we're all just like creating, like, none of us know shit at the end of the day, like, when it comes to like
oh
this
yeah,
life. And,
definitely.
you know, it's just like, just do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like, if you're not harming other people, like,
Yeah,
live your best life,
definitely.
live your truth, you know? So,
I mean, we only have that many years on Earth, but also like
right.
RuPaul said, I think he once said that we're all born naked and the rest is drag, and that's
Yeah.
such a true
Yeah.
statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you okay? So I know that we've touched base then on the drag portion, but you did say when we first started that you are an artist and you do a lot of different things. So was drag your entryway into exploring your art, or how did you get to the point that you are now creatively?
So, wow, that's a good question, actually. I've always been very creative and loved drawing and painting and lots of other things. I got my first sewing machine when I was 14 and
Mm-hmm.
started sewing my own clothes or like upcycling stuff. And then after I finished high school, I guess, I don't know, like Gymnasium in German,
Yeah.
I I went to study fashion design.
Mm-hmm.
I broke that off. It was way too stressful. Like, no, but I still do sewing. And that was like I didn't do drag back then, but I was actually friends with lots of drag queens, and I used to say to them that if I was a man, I would definitely be a drag queen because I was so intrigued by that world, and I loved seeing them on stage and everything they did. I wanted to do that as well, but I didn't really think it was an option for me. It
Mm-hmm.
was way later that I kind of saw, like, that I understood the whole concept of it, and I don't know, like when um when some of my friends, like when I met some non-binary people and everything, they started making me question like the whole concept of gender in a different way as well, which also led me to start seeing that drag is like it's not appropriating for me to do drag. It's
Mm-hmm.
fine. I can do that if I want to, and so I started doing that with my
Mm-hmm.
best friend back then. Yeah.
Amazing. Who's your best friend? Are they still doing drag? Let's shout them out.
Oh yeah, that's actually my drag mother,
Okay, what's her name?
Denny Stone.
Sydney Stone. That's so glamorous.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah,
she?
that's Denny.
Okay. Well, shout out to you said Sydney Stone.
No, Stinny.
Oh, Sydney.
Stinny. Love Stinny.
Yes, we love Sydney Stone. Am I saying it
Oh
right?
yeah,
Sydney
actually we really
Stone?
do. Yeah, you're saying good.
Okay, great. 'Cause I'm like, at first I was talking about some Sydney Stone. I was like, oh, I love her. Okay, well, shout out to Sydney Stone. Okay, so you started then you started to create clothes. You said that with your sewing machine, and then you got into drag. So just painting this
Mm-hmm.
picture. And you've been doing drag now for how long?
Um,
You're like my whole life,
I
bitch.
started. um, I started. I started experimenting with makeup a lot more while COVID was happening. And
Mm,
that was a whole thing for me that, yeah, and I've been doing shows for 3 years now.
okay.
But so I had this whole phase of before COVID.
Hmm.
Okay, when I broke off fashion design, I moved to Berlin 7 years ago. Fashion design was still in Munich, where I grew up. And I started studying museology, which is about museums, like art history and stuff, which was super interesting.
Hmm.
And when I moved to Berlin, I started like really going out of my way to like, I don't know, like dress the way I want and present myself the way I want.
Yeah.
And I kind of got into the like Lolita community, fashion wise.
Yeah.
So I had like super cute frilly dresses, and I sometimes would wear wigs to uni and just like put on super big doll eyes, and I had so much fun with that. I felt so beautiful and so
Yeah.
comfortable. And then COVID happened, and we're all at home the whole time, and I don't really see the point in doing my makeup when I'm at home. Like I need to go out and like to see people, to talk to people. Um, but so it was kind of depressing for me for a while to like, I don't know, like it felt very, very depressing and like I'm losing myself and like always just hanging out in pajamas all day, every day. And I don't know, I couldn't do that anymore. So I like at home started experimenting around with makeup, and I watched a lot of Drag Race and all of that. And when the bars like slowly started opening up, I was like really excited to like totally go out of my way and look as fabulous as I could going
Yes.
out. Yeah, so that started, and then Stinny and I started doing shows in some of these bars, and Stinny introduced me to lots of people from the scene because she's been a thing in Berlin for a while now,
Mm.
and yeah, and so that's how that happened. And then I don't know, you meet all the dolls, and everyone is super cute and super nice, and they're always happy to support new queens. And then I was a baby queen for like 3 months, I think, where I was like doing shows constantly, and then that label fell off pretty quickly because I was just part of the scene by then.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean, you're extremely talented and like very polished. So
Like, girl.
no, everybody, if you're not watching this on YouTube and you're just listening in, you're missing the vision here. I
Come
also
on.
thank you. I know you were saying that you're like you don't really love to just like get into the gig at home, but like thank you for blessing us with this masterpiece that you put together for us here for the visuals.
I mean, I'm talking to you, so that counts for something.
As I'm sitting here in like a little crop top, like one piece of fabric, and like not a stitch of anything on my face in this broad ass daylight. But thank you, I appreciate it.
You look good. It's
Thank
the
you,
fantasy. It's fine.
thank you, thank you. Okay, so I think now seems like a good time to jump into our first break. And then when we come back from the break, I want to talk about what you're doing currently because I know that you've been doing drag and you're drag adjacent and you like to get up into the gig, but you have progressed even beyond just performing in clubs or like doing drag shows at clubs, and now you're working on other things creatively as well. So I definitely want to touch base on that. But for this break, let's play. We're gonna play my song "OnlyFans" from my recent project Heaven's Gate, the deluxe edition. So this is "OnlyFans" by Markus X, and when we are back, we are gonna have more conversation with Future. All right, guys. Sometimes myself in the mirror, and I'm like, God damn, bitch, you look fucking good. Ooh, it's giving con. Go get her, got him so addicted, call me up the drug dealer. They hook hot pillar, I say on their tongue, need they fix to get a filler. Need another hit, got you going all night. Light me up in the sun, ain't no bricks, green light. Take you high out of space, get you growing up to mind. Lose yourself in the feeling, full love, Aphrodite. Throwing up this money, give a fuck, I'ma make that. If you throw it back, cut your back, I'ma break that. If it's giving face category, I'ma take that. Hypnotize mind, touch this mind, never fake that. Kitty, kitty, cat, cat, purr. If it's up, then what's up, better get your paper served. Young and pretty bitch, good luck, better not give you up. All that ice cream is up, but we still don't give a fuck. All right, that was OnlyFans by yours truly, Markus X.
Such a banger.
Thank you.
Slay.
I'm excited to get into your music here in a moment too, because you definitely fuck shit up with your first song. So taking us back, so we started in designing, and then we shifted into drag performance. And so, are you still performing? I know, it's you get up into like the visual that you want to be in, but are you still doing like a typical drag type performance? Is that a part of what you're doing actively still?
Way less. I used to do
Okay.
that a lot, and it was so much fun. I really started doing that for fun.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you get money for the gigs and everything, but in the end, you like with every show that you do, you kind of try to exceed and like be like do something new and have
Mm-hmm.
it cooler than the last one. And at some point, I accepted bookings and then I stood in before these bookings and I super stressed, like just called Steady, like I don't know what to do anymore. I have no creativity in me. Like every idea I ever had has like I've done that.
Yeah.
And I have two shows, one tomorrow, one the day after tomorrow, and I don't know like what can I recycle, what can I do, and then seeing like okay, come over, we're gonna think of something, but it became so stressful
Mm.
at one point where I really started doing that. I mean, kind of like when you do that more than once a month, it's
Yeah.
already like it. It's already like a lot of pressure to come up with new things all of the time, and then like you've had all the outfit changes and wig changes, and um, I like what we did a lot was like tell a story with our performances, like really think of something and not just
Mm.
stand there just like lip syncing a song.
Right.
I feel like it's very different from like from queen to queen, person to person, how like what your style is and how you carry performances. Like I've seen performers, they just put on a song and they're like they totally catch the audience. They're so good with that. And then other ones are like dancers and they dance their ass off and they're so good at that. But for me it was always because I'm like not that good of a dancer and I'm like also not that charismatic, which like I kind of am, but not that.
Yeah.
It's like oh, it's like all the talents are like a little bit of that, a little bit of that. But what I can do is like doing all the preparations and like building all that shit and like coming up with cool stuff to like have super fun reveals at shows and with like I don't know like super different kinds of storylines and like doing something whatever. But it takes so much creativity. At one point I was just it was all sucked out of me and I didn't know what to do anymore. And
Mm.
Stinny is a super good and uh yeah, it's a good DJ. Like she's doing really well in the scene and she taught me how to DJ.
Okay.
And I started DJing 1.5 years like it was October was my first gig, like not this but the year before that.
Yeah.
And then all of 2024 I had only one drag performance and that was Pride Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
No, at Pride Berlin and Pride Dresden.
Mm.
It's another city. Um, other than that, I was only doing DJ gigs, and I had so much fun doing them, and they kind of work really well for me because um within those DJs and within the DJ scene, like I am a performer at heart, and I come from performing, and I of course I try to do like the best transitions,
Yeah.
but no, I've gotten better. It's getting better over time, but it's super fun to like when you're in charge of playing the music, right? Like
Yeah.
that's super fun, and
You have
also
the aux cord at the
um
party.
well, now I do, and I
Yeah.
get paid for it.
Yeah, yeah.
But but yeah, kind of performing all of that behind the DJ desk and have like all the audience like party with them is so much fun. Like it's been so heartwarming and so beautiful. I've had some of the best nights doing that, and I'm very happy that I've been doing that more now. And um, yeah, I'm planning on doing that more, but I still like I'm not opposed to performing at all. And whenever I just don't want to like pressure myself into having new ideas and then just have this half-assed performance somewhere on stage. But when I come up with like something super creative and I'm like, oh my God, that would be such a good idea for a drag show.
Yeah.
I know that there's like some places here in Berlin that I can always like text and say like, hey, do you have a spot free anywhere? Um, I'd love to come back. Like
Yeah.
I know that that's an option, so that's super good.
And also it's like when you're just like wash, rinse, repeating too, it
Yeah.
becomes less exciting, right? For you as the
Oh
artist and as
yeah.
the performer, because it's like you're like, I've already performed this thing in front of however many crowds now. And so, it's not really fun to continue. Like I'm not creating anything new essentially. Like I'm just like doing the same thing over and over again, right? But I
Yeah.
love that you have transitioned now into a new lane for yourself. Not that you've even given up doing like typical drag performance. But I love that you still get up into the gig, you get up into like your look, something that you love to do, and now you've created a
Yeah.
new lane for yourself where you can be in full drag and then also like doing this new thing of DJing. And I honestly would love, I wish that I was closer because I would love to come turn up. I know you'd be turning the party out.
Well, have someone book me in LA and I'll come.
Right, right. Anybody listening
No
to this?
problem, babe.
Yeah, anybody listening to this? Um,
I'm open.
right, open and ready to work. Okay.
So
Um,
ready to work.
okay, and so you also have, okay, before we get into music, I want to ask, do you feel that, I know earlier you had mentioned that you are a part of the queer community, and the queer community for your drag has been super accepting, like you getting into drag, doing the drag performances, now DJing as well. Like, do you feel like everybody has continued to be supportive throughout your entire journey, being a part of the community, or do you feel like you faced any challenges?
So I identify as bisexual.
Mm.
Um and I'm doing good so far. I feel like I mean bi erasure is a thing, kind of. And there was this like there was a time in my life that I had a girlfriend,
Mm.
and then people were like, "Oh, she's a lesbian now." And then I had a boyfriend again. So like, "Oh, okay, it was just a phase." And like bi erasure is definitely a thing, but it's okay. It's like there's much more pain in the community than bi erasure. I know that like it's not that big of a deal.
Mm.
Um, it was kind of uh like also it was kind of complicated to explain to my parents what I do,
Mm-hmm.
but they kind of they kind of get it now, but it's like took me 3 years for them to get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was, I think, the weirdest encounter I had because I tried to explain to my parents that I do drag shows now and all of that. And then there was this one thing that my mom kind of tried to, like she tried to figure out if I was trans now and if I wanted to be a man. And then I tried to explain to her that that's not it, but thanks for asking. Um, yeah, I'm a big trans ally though,
Yeah.
of course.
Well,
Uh,
bless your parents'
and
hearts
then,
for trying to figure it out, huh?
well, they're trying, but they were also like, they were a little judgy though, like,
No.
and then there was this day that my mom kind of like, she tried to ask me if I was a stripper because she really didn't understand what I did at all. She was, yeah, she was kind of concerned. And then the thing is that, of course, I'm an ally to the sex workers as well, and I do not think that being a stripper, there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
So I tried to explain that to my mom before I explained to her that I was not a stripper. First of all, I was like, so we don't judge.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
So
like
she was even more concerned.
you're like,
I
Mom,
was
I
like,
love all
first the
of these.
activism,
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah. You're like, I love all of who you think I am, but also it's not
yeah,
quite that.
yeah. So, like, I surround myself with the queer community since I was like 13 or 14 years old. So,
Mm,
like, regarding my friends and such, like, I'm a very safe space to be able to express myself however I want to, and they're super supportive. And my family was like the only thing in my life where it was like a little more, where I had a little more explaining to do to get to that point. But regarding that, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm
okay.
very
Oh,
very
yeah.
blessed
I'm
considering
glad. I'm glad
that.
that you haven't experienced like anybody being super, uh, like a hater against your art because you're so talented and like I really am happy that you're able to share that and that you have a space to be able to share that with the world, and
Oh
community
yeah,
as well
definitely.
that supports you.
Like don't get me wrong, like of course I've been catcalled and had like people say weird things or transphobic stuff on the streets, but
Yeah,
like I don't know these people. Of course that's a whole different situation.
yeah, yeah.
But also like not that much. I think I'm still good. I know that some of my friends have regularly experienced that the Uber driver is not taking them with them in the car. I've only had
Mm,
the experience twice. Um and stuff like that, which kind of doesn't sit right with you in that moment.
yeah.
But yeah, stuff like that happens to all of us. I know
Yeah,
that,
I
but
mean, a lot of the
yeah,
world is fucked up. So to tie, the listeners together as far as understanding how we've come together here. I had the amazing opportunity a couple of years ago to perform, to get booked to perform at Munich Pride, and so I met Future before, I don't know, at some point during the day of Pride, and just loved just
yeah.
like the fantasy and like seeing you in person. It was just like, oh wow, like this person is like sick, right? And so we met then, and we've managed
Yeah, I
to.
love talking with you.
Yeah, it was cute. It was a super cute interaction. We got a photo, all of that.
Yeah, I loved your
Um,
energy.
Thank
Yeah.
you. No, I loved yours as well. And
Yeah.
so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because obviously we know, Germany has a history of different things, but I was surprised when I was there because I was there with my boyfriend, and I remember even though it was Pride, and Munich is a large city, I was surprised that I did feel a couple of times like as we were holding hands or whatever, like, walking down the street, I was getting some looks, and I currently live in San Francisco, and so it's like super gay here, and there's obviously bullshit here as well. But I was just like, oh wow, I don't know why it like took me aback, but I was like, oh right, I was like, I've been fully in a little bubble living in San Francisco because no, like we walk down the street here and like don't get a second glance at all. But there were
Not at
definitely
all.
no,
Wow.
no, yeah, no, it's lovely. At least where I live in the city. So that's why I was curious your experience as well being an AFAB queen, like if you had any kind of, you know, I don't want to say backlash, but just like getting any kind of like discrimination or anything like that in Berlin where you are now. So thank you for
So
sharing.
first,
Yeah.
of course, thank you for sharing, first of
Yeah.
all. And actually, I've been to San Francisco, but it was like over 10 years ago with my parents. I need to go again.
Yeah, come on, you can stay with me.
um, I will.
Yeah, yeah, you have the space
I'll
here.
definitely come back to that. Don't
Yeah,
forget
yeah.
that. But what I want to talk about firstly, which is very interesting, is the difference between Munich and Berlin in my experience, in my personal experience. I feel like because Berlin is a very open, big city. It's actually it's the queer capital of Europe
Mm,
officially.
yeah.
Um, Berlin is very very multicultural, very queer, very everything, but it's very everything, and people are super loud. And there's this whole thing that Berliners, they like to like say their opinions a lot,
Hmm.
all the time. Whereas the people in Munich are a little more reserved.
Mm,
The Bavarians are, they do have their thing. Munich is also a very colorful and beautiful city, and I personally still feel a little more safe in Munich, because even though kind of in Munich you sometimes you get a little more judged,
mm,
depends on where you are, but the people only judge you with your looks. Like nobody's gonna say anything because they're way too fine to do that. You know, like they're not they're just not gonna say anything. They're just gonna look at you or give you a look.
hmm.
Also, not only that, but when I wear like my Demonia boots or like my New Rocks, they're just looking. I'm like, what kinds of shoes are those? Why is she not wearing normal shoes? And in Berlin, everyone wears those. Like nobody cares about what shoes you wear. Like people are here barefoot, like everywhere for some reason. I don't know. Um, so that's Munich, and in Berlin, like it's super accepting, of course, but the people that don't accept you, they sometimes they even go out of their way to say something, like to make it clear that they don't accept you.
Mm,
I personally didn't have that many like bad encounters in general. Also, what I just have to say in general is that both cities, sometimes you get like super cute compliments from like some grandma or whatever, like super cute people on the streets, like that exists as well, of course. But in Berlin, I mean, I usually either I get ready with friends and then we're like this closed group, or then I get an Uber, and I'm always like at the safe spaces, and we have a lot of those like clubs, bars, and all different kind of safer spaces for the community where, of course, like we don't really expect anything to happen to you, but I I've had situations where I didn't have enough money for the Uber or whatever, and I went home middle of the night by like the subway or whatever, and nothing happened.
mm.
But like usually nothing happens. But sometimes like people will say something. It
Yeah,
happens.
yeah, yeah.
I think
I mean,
there's
just to.
this one moment. I just want to tell you about one moment I had that I'm kind of proud of.
Oh,
It was like, yeah, because it involves like my mother language,
mm,
my mother tongue, and I was standing on this like red light waiting to cross the street, and like with the wig and everything, they just saw me from behind, like had my yeah, and there were those two guys, yeah, right behind me, and the one guy said to the other, "Stel mushkoli žensko," which means, what is that? Is it a man or a woman? In Bosnian.
uh,
And yeah, so I was like, yes, I understood what they were saying. It was not Spanish, it was not Arabic or Turkish or anything I don't speak, it was something I speak. So I turned around and said, "Šta vas briga," which means, why do you care? And I felt so sassy doing that.
yeah.
But then, like, the moment they figured out, oh, that's a woman, it's fine. Like, it's fine. It's a
Of
woman,
course, of
right?
course, of
So,
course.
of course, they were all like, oh my God, you're one of us, whatever. And it was like, no, 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 talk to the hand. Like,
Yeah.
no. But what I think still like lots of people read me as a woman, and then they don't say anything, of course, because yeah, I'm just a woman with a lot of makeup.
Yeah.
But those people that are not sure, that kind of look at me and they're like, "Is that a little twink or what is that?" Like
What's happening
that
here?
can, yeah.
Yeah.
Or if they read me as trans, like as a trans woman, um, those are the ones that like sometimes would say something stupid,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah,
people just it's always the crowd that can tell, right? They can
right.
tell,
And honestly,
and they can never tell.
yeah, yeah. I honestly like heart always goes out to our trans brothers and sisters who
Oh,
have to deal
definitely,
with this bullshit like
definitely,
nonstop because people just love
on a
like
day-to-day
on a
basis.
day-to-day basis, and it's like
Like,
people
yeah,
love like not like if they can't figure out what box that they can fit you into in their mind, it's like it
yeah,
challenges them, you know what I mean? And it's just like
yeah,
what like, you know, and it's just like it's because they haven't figured out like, and this isn't what I'm going to say isn't to take away from anybody's truth and like their gender identity, but like I feel like a lot of going back to what I was saying earlier, a lot of this shit's just like fucking made up, and like none of this shit
oh
fucking
yeah,
matters. The only
definitely.
shit that matters is like
No,
what we make matter, right? But I love artists and like just people in general that can challenge that kind of you know, truth that people are holding on to so hard, and we need more people, more visibility, more people to just be out there like challenging that, because you know the system isn't going to shift
definitely.
if we don't have that. Like we are the people that
Yeah,
are helping to move this shit along, you know, not these people who are holding on to these like old fucking old school beliefs and all that bullshit. But to clarify also what I was saying about Germany, by no means, like I had a great time while I was there. I spent time, we were in Munich during the performance. We spent time in Berlin as well. So I wasn't bringing it up to like hate on Germany. It's so
oh,
beautiful
I
and
know
like
that.
had a lovely
It's okay. Don't
experience.
worry about it.
And like I
I
also, you
know.
know, people who are
It's
listening,
fine.
if they've never been, like I don't want to be like, oh, I had this awful experience where I was like judged for, you know what I mean? Just to
No, no,
clarify
no, it's
that.
fine. But I mean, it's part of life
Yeah, yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so shifting back again, so we talked about, you know, your creative journey so far. I want to shift into music because recently you also have put out your very own song, which is
Yes.
super impressive because being somebody who's worked on music for however many years, like, and I still like drag myself because I'm like, fuck, this doesn't sound how I want it to sound. It's so impressive to hear somebody's like first attempt at music and to have it be so good. So I'm like, how did that come to be? If you want to lead us into,
Stop.
yeah, like how did this come to be? How did you release the song?
So, like as I said, I'm an artist, and I always kind of okay. So, oh my god, it feels so weird for me to like say that a lot right now because for the longest time I didn't call myself that, but other people called me that, and then I started calling myself that.
Yeah,
But for that, like for me, that means like everything I do, and I've had piano lessons since I was 6, and I'm playing the piano quite well. And I was actually from 5th to 8th grade for 4 years. I was in a musical school. Like it's so complicated. How do I explain that to an American? Like, no, 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 not like that. But like the school system in Germany, it works like when you go to a school, like to a high school, you have like those different like branches that you can choose.
oh, that's cool.
I was at like the musical branch, and my instrument was the piano, but we had to do singing lessons there and also piano lessons, and were graded on that, and had like music theory and lots of Latin. Hated Latin. And all of that. So I was into music even back then. I also played the guitar, but not that much anymore because I mostly have like long nails and I can't play the guitar with long nails.
Yeah,
But technically, I love doing that. And I've been wanting to make music, but like I never did because I didn't know how and whatever. But um, I kind of like writing. It's fun. Like
yeah,
sometimes my like I'm not saying that I'm really good at lyrics or whatever, but I'm having fun doing that. Like that counts for something, I guess. And then I got myself Ableton and kind of tried to learn how to do that.
yeah.
And producing is not as easy that as like they say it is. So I
No,
went to this. So last year I went to this Ableton workshop. Like I figured out how to like make it a beat, and it kind of sounded good, but it sounded a little empty. It was super hard for me to like super like really fill it in. I didn't know how voice auto-tune stuff works. So I went to this Ableton workshop. It was like a one-time for free thing. I was like, let's try it out, whatever. And I met the cutest girl there. Her, I'm just gonna say her artist name now. It's
Yeah.
Klammer. And I met her there, and she was producing for a long, like she's been producing for a very long time, but she usually does like hip hop, rap, and hyper pop type of shit. But she was super interested in getting more like in a techno-y direction, so we sat together and produced that song. And yeah, that I had like the idea of doing, and I wrote the lyrics, I sang it in, and we sat together and did that, the two of us. So that was my first track. So the props go half to me and half to Klammer. Yeah, love
No,
her.
it's a
Also
great
love
song.
that it's a woman and it's just like us two girls like sipping like the matcha iced latte and eating the donuts like at in her little room with like the whole pink screen and
Yeah.
figuring out how to do the song. And actually, the two of us were working on more songs at the moment. And
Okay. Will you
so
release
yeah,
like an EP, or what is the vision? Are you thinking to just do singles? Yeah,
I
what's
think
your
it's
vision with
singles for
music?
now. I'm working on we're working on two songs right now because we started one and then but then the other one had kind of more of a priority and we felt that more. And when then we circled back to the first one. It's a little
Oh,
chaotic, but I love working with her because like she really gets my energy and
yeah.
she's kind of the same way. Um, and I think for now it's gonna be just like whatever song is ready is gonna come out. I want to like release two or three this year. And for for one of the songs, I'm thinking of making like two versions of it, like the Spotify version, and then for SoundCloud for DJs, like a super clubby version. Because, yeah, yeah, like as a DJ, it's so different. Like there are songs that I kind of have the fantasy of doing, but I don't think they would work as well in a club.
Mhm.
But they would work very well on, I don't know, at home, I guess.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
um,
Have you like at your DJ gigs currently, do you play the song that we're gonna play here coming up into our second break? Hello Kitty,
every
Berlin
single
City.
time.
Oh, do you? Okay,
Every
love that.
single time.
Love
Yeah.
that. Love that. And do people go
Yeah.
up like every
The
time?
people love it.
I know.
Actually, it was so cute for me. Like there are a few people that come to most of my gigs and they're always like in the first row and it's always so nice to see them.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the first time, like 1 week after I released the song, I had this gig and they were there. And I was like so shocked to see that like two or three people in the first row were actually like singing the song with me. I was like, you know the lyrics already? Oh my god, you have to listen to that shit.
No, it's so good. It's so good.
Like it made me feel so good. And at this point, like, but like the whole crowd felt the song. They just didn't know it. Like most of them, of course. I think
Yeah.
that's normal. But I was actually surprised to have like I thought that only like my two friends right next to me would like know the song actually like sing it.
I feel like as a
Yeah,
as
but at this point, like more people actually know the song. And then this one friend, um came to one of my gigs, but a little late. It was like, "Did you play Hello Kitty Berlin City yet? Did you play it yet?" I was like, "Yeah, you missed it." He was like, "No."
I feel like as a DJ
Okay.
too, it must be like a DJ who is now branching into music as well. You could really test out these new songs that you're working on. You could like really get like, a rough cut and then like, mix and master that shit just as a like a rough draft, and then like mix it into
Oh
like your
yeah,
DJ set and
yeah,
just see
yeah,
how
and
like see what people are
yeah.
fucking with. Like you get
Oh yeah,
real
definitely,
live reaction as opposed to just putting it out and then being like,
definitely.
okay, what's the response? So
Actually, I'm planning on doing that with my next one.
yeah, absolutely. Why
Yeah,
not? Okay, great.
yeah.
Well, so I guess could you lead us into the second break then? This is Hello Kitty Berlin City by Futuristic. A little sample for you. Make sure you check out the full song on streaming services as well.
Hello Kitty, Balance City, hello
Okay, that was Hello Kitty Berlin City by Futuristic. Make sure to check that out now on all streaming services. Where do you push people to, like, when they listen to, like, are you like, hey, listen to this on Spotify, listen to this on SoundCloud? Like,
I
what
don't.
what do you push?
I think like I think the distributor put like everywhere. I don't
Yeah,
really care, like
listen
whatever you feel most
listen
comfortable
wherever.
and use. But yeah, but Spotify and SoundCloud is I think like the most useful for me. But you can find the song anywhere else as
Yeah.
well, I
And
guess.
I
Yeah.
guess to close the chapter of this part of the conversation, for those of us who don't speak German, could you give us like a rough
Oh, what
breakdown
it
of,
says?
yeah, like what are you talking about in the song?
Okay, so the thing is that in Berlin we have this station. It's
Mm.
called Cottbusser Tor. And Cottbusser, I've actually never in my life been to Cottbusser Tor where there was not like a lot of police and something happening.
Oh,
um, it's in Kreuzberg. It's a super cool area, but there's lots of like sometimes there's some illegal shit going on there, and we all call that Kotti, like for Cottbusser Tor, and it's a thing. I don't know how to really explain it. I guess you should have been like been there, but it's kind of it's like it's iconic in Berlin, you could say. And then it's like hello Cuddy, goodbye kitty, and then the German part that I sing. Um, how do you translate Atzen gehen hard, bro, in English? Bro is bro. Atze is
okay.
another word for bro, but not really. It's a very special kind. No, I don't know how to explain that. Oh my
Okay.
god,
Well, it's not about the words, it's
like
about
it's
the
so niche,
vibe.
but the vibe is just I don't know. It's just for my Hello Kitty girls and for just the party people in Berlin, just having fun and having a good summer
Yes.
and how we're naughty girls are pretty.
Yes. Yes. And
And
that's,
then yeah, it's just
huh.
it's just
That's a great segue into this next segment, which I like to call X marks the spot, because we might have some questions from some naughty girls over here. So for those of you maybe listening for the first time, X marks the spot is a segment that we get questions in from the listeners. Maybe people need advice or are asking for advice about something. Maybe they want to tell us a story. So for those of you listening, if you do want to call in, that number is 415-448-6630. So you can leave me a voicemail, send a text, whatever, send me your questions for a future guest. So yeah, let's jump into it. We have some good ones here. The
okay.
first one says, when do you feel the happiest?
When do I feel the happiest?
Yeah.
Well, during an orgasm.
Oh, shit.
I mean, obvious, duh. Like,
Yes. Yes.
duh.
Okay. Period. Not you don't even have to say anything else. Like that's it. Boom. Okay. When do I feel the happiest? I feel the happiest probably like being surrounded by like the people who I love.
Oh
Just like
yeah.
vibing, like
That's so
being.
much better. I should have said that.
No,
Like
no,
my
yours is
friends probably
perfect.
hate me right now.
No, no. You're like fuck those bitches. You're like let me catch my nut real quick. Um, okay. Somebody else says, hello. Wait, let me pull this up on my phone. It'll be easier for me to read here. Somebody
Okay.
says, hello, Markus and guest. I have been curious to try sleeping with the opposite sex for a while now, but am not sure where to start. I've always identified as a gay male, but have recently been curious. Any advice?
Start with a drag queen.
Oh, huh. Just like start inching your way over.
Well, I mean, I like the problem now is that we cannot ask any more questions to that person because for that I would like to know like what's behind that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, did you get into Mormonism or why are you trying to like
Yeah, like where is
why?
it coming from? Why do you want to try
Yeah,
sleeping? I mean, like sometimes like the older you get, like you just like you like want to continue to explore your sexuality, maybe, right?
yeah.
So yeah, I
I
don't.
mean, like for I guess like for people here in Berlin. the advice, or what usually people do is like go to these like fetish clubs or
Mm,
whatever, where you have like this whole range of people, everything's very consensual, and you can just like try a little bit out, whatever you feel comfortable with.
yeah,
And if you feel like it's not for you, it like kind of never happen, because what stays in the club, what
yeah,
happens in the club stays in the club or whatever. But I don't know where the person's from and what's going on exactly, but I guess like figuring out why. And also maybe what I would say the first would be is like trying to watch like straight porn and see if you like really, if you really do dig like the visual of the pussy and all of that, and
yeah.
if it like makes your heart like can you like, do you actually like that, and then you can see where to go from that.
You're like, will you be able to perform if you're in this situation? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe get like, maybe you could
No, but
have,
like for yourself, just for
yeah,
yourself.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, okay, so for this person, my advice, maybe see if you have like a girlfriend that you could experiment with. Like I've known females in the past,
Sure.
so, like cis women who are like into that, So, do you have anything more to add for this one?
I don't think so right now. I just really wish the best for that person, and to figure out how they feel happiest and who they feel happiest with.
That's right. All
It's
right,
gonna be fine. Talk
somebody
to your friends. It's gonna be good.
somebody says, "What is your dream country to perform? Wait, what is your dream country to visit or perform in?"
Japan. That would be cool.
Yes, you will be getting your Hello Kitty fantasy out in Japan. I feel like they would eat you up too,
Yeah, I
honestly.
would love
I feel like
that.
they would eat you up. We need to get you a show out in Japan immediately.
That would be so amazing.
Yes. Okay, we're bringing it in. We're bringing it in. I feel like the word manifest is like so overused, but like we're bringing it into reality. Futuristic for Japan 2025. We're saying this year even. Mine would
Yeah,
probably
please.
be maybe like London at this point. I feel like I would like to get back to Europe. Maybe do some gigs in London.
The
Or
country of London.
oh yeah, right. They did say country, huh? Damn, drag me.
Totally fine. I just
uh,
that's just the average U.S. American.
I know, right? Yeah, seriously. My mind just
No, I'm
immediately
kidding.
went
I'm
to like
kidding,
a
babe. I'm
city.
kidding.
Okay, I will say I
Yeah,
will
no,
say
sure.
also there was like I was like in talks to maybe do like a pride somewhere in Italy, as like a couple, when was this, maybe
Oh
like last
yeah.
year. So I would be down to go to Italy and perform too. Shit, whoever has some money and wants to fly me out, let's talk. Okay, somebody says, so I have a best friend of like 12 years, and over the past couple of years, I've realized that I kind of have feelings for her. Really don't want to make our friendship weird, but as I'm continuing to realize my feelings, I'm lost as to what to do moving forward.
Oh my god. I mean,
People really will be
like
asking
the
some
thing
real
is that
shit.
like are you a therapist or
I
like
know, I
exactly
know, I
that?
know. Yeah, definitely not. Anybody who's listening to this, this
But
is
no,
just our
that's
opinion, okay?
that's a super good question. I think like, of course, like when you're super close, it's always so important to communicate, to have like everything like on the same level, and not do like stuff behind each other's backs to like figure out whatever. Like I think communication is key, but also in the fear of not losing that friend,
Hmm.
which could happen by communicating. It depends on how the person like accepts that.
Yeah.
It's very tricky. It's very tricky, but maybe like ask, maybe like talk to a friend that you like both have in common, like a common friend. Like really talk to them about that and see what they say, because they probably know her pretty well, and would know better how she would react to something like that.
Yeah, I mean, also it's
I don't
like
know.
if you already are friends, like you should be able to talk about it, and like even if it makes it weird for a little bit, like I do feel like
Of
communication is
course.
definitely the best thing that you could like just communicate and be upfront and be vulnerable and be real, and just
Yeah.
be like this is my truth. I've realized that I've developed feelings for you, and like I don't want to lose you as a friend, so like I also understand if you don't feel the same way about me, but I feel like you also owe it to yourself to be able to not be like hiding in the shadows of whatever you're feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. We wish you luck. Maybe write back and tell us if you've
Lots of
if
luck.
yeah, if you if you do move forward with this, write back in and tell us how it went. Okay, somebody says, "Do you believe in orgies?" Like as if they're not a real
Is it a
thing.
thing you could
It's like
not?
Santa Claus. Yeah. Do you believe in orgies?
Um, uh, okay, so for me personally, I've I think like if that's too many people and too overwhelmed, I would be down to have it with like two or three other people, like a foursome, maybe. I don't know.
Mm,
I've only had foursomes before. I didn't have it with like a five, like an orgy, more
yeah.
people,
And was it
which
like
is which was yeah, it was fine. It was fun, but I personally I'm mostly a one-on-one person.
mm-hmm.
Like I enjoy that much more, and it was always like I don't know, like these crazy late night party situations, and then you're kind of a little horny and you get into it, and that's super fun. But it's not something. It's not the kind of sex that brings me the most joy at all. But it's like you can still do that. Like it's fine. Like I sometimes eat pistachio ice cream, even though it's like.
Yeah. Were the situations that you've been in, was it like a mixture? Was everybody like living their bisexual fantasy in the moment? Was it like all women? Was it like a mixture? Was it like you know?
Yeah, it was either a mix. It was either a mixture or all women.
Mm.
Like
All right, somebody says, "Hey there, I'm an artist as well, but haven't found any success in what I do. It really bothers me to feel like people aren't appreciating my art. I don't want to be famous or anything, but it sucks to constantly be posting my art online and getting one or two likes."
yeah, in terms of like social media, the pressure for that is like really big, and it doesn't matter how good you are. It's like very much about like even if you have 100 likes, you will still see this other artist who has like 100,000 likes, and oh my God, like how are they so successful? But it's like art is just one part of like lots of things in life where social media like really is really bad for your mental health and all of that. I totally get where that's coming from, but maybe try to like of course first and foremost you do art for yourself, and if because at that point where you start doing it for others you lose, um and I don't know, like I think if for me if like the thing is that I wasn't with my art. Social media was not the place where I put my money on, but it was like real life stuff. I think if I painted, I would kind of like go on my way and ask galleries or anyone I know with like some little space if I could like hang some things up, and if I could do an evening or like connect myself with other artists and collab or in like anything like that. Like I
Mm,
put myself in drag on stage before. I had like all of the like pictures of myself on Insta or whatever. Like that's and like when you start connecting with people in that scene, like they become your followers, they become the people that like your posts. I know that for me personally as an artist, most of my followers, commentators, and likers are the people that I've met in real life and that uh, met me and like what I do, and then they follow me and then they support me. And there's like this little snippet of people that kind of find me wherever. Like I don't know where they're from, but I don't think that like I've never went viral with anything. I'm not in like really big algorithms to to have that. So go out and meet people in real life and do whatever you can to share your art there. And also what I've realized is you get a lot more satisfaction for that kind of recognition, like someone in real life telling me how they like what I do gives me so much more than some likes or comments. Like you forget the comments almost immediately, but the real life ones stay with you.
Hmm. I love what you said about as soon as you start doing art for other people, how did you put it? You said you've lost it.
You
you
lose.
you lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
It
it's
just,
it's so
yeah.
true though. Yeah, my advice to this person would be, yeah, realize that like, social media is just this fake thing that we're all kind of tuning into, and like, it's really not real life. And like, you'll go out into the scene, whatever it is that you're doing. Let me see if it says. Yeah, they just say artist. So whatever it is that you're doing, once you go out into like actually building community, like you'll see people who are doing these amazing things out in real life who have like no social media following, and you're like, wow. But then you see
Oh
these other
yeah.
people who are like
Yeah.
popping off online, and but like you never see them in real life. Like they've just created, and some people are great at social media and some people aren't. Like I would just take that pressure off of yourself to have to
Yeah.
perform or like seek this like
Definitely.
online validation or success, and get back to the root of why you're creating. I've always thought too, like, if I ever stop having fun with whatever it is I'm doing, like, I'm not gonna fucking do it, because it's like life is too short, and it's like I don't want to be wasting my time like
Yeah.
doing shit just for like because I feel like I need to, or like have to have some image of like success or whatever. So yeah, I would just say like get back to like the root of your love for whatever kind of art form that you're creating, and go out, meet people. Yeah, that's it. I feel like we covered all of the bases there. Good luck to you as well. These are like some
Yeah.
serious ass
I'd say
questions
so.
this
Good
week.
luck to you.
Ah, all right. Somebody asks.
And or yeah.
Okay. Somebody asks, what is your worst relationship or dating experience?
Okay, so actually,
Wait, you might need to
my
pour your tea
relationships were
some more.
always really good.
Uh-huh.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Um, so actually, my relationships were pretty good, but I've had this one dating experience. The date went 5 minutes.
Oh, why? Why did it go 5 minutes?
Um, so I downloaded Hinge, and then I met one person off of Hinge, and then I deleted Hinge a week later.
What was wrong with them?
Um, so okay, so to be fair, like they had like their profile, they looked really hot, like super hot, and it was all like those shirtless pictures and whatever.
Yeah.
But then I met them and I mean, they looked like that. It wasn't a catfish. They were super hot. And I was like, still, like, when they started talking, I was like, still debating, like, am I still gonna do it because they're hot? I was like, oh.
Ah.
So they started talking, and like within the first 2 or 3 minutes, they started like talking about like NFTs and Bitcoins and whatever. And I was like, do I look like the person that talks about like mindsets and like like this whole like weird alpha male financial world thing?
Yeah,
Like, do
yeah.
I look like that? And then yeah, I just I like we were in this bar and I literally just stood up, looked at my watch, and was like, oh, it's late, I gotta go. And I was
Ah.
like for 5 minutes.
Ah.
But like I'm so happy that I just left him sitting there, because even though like he's probably super bad in bed. Like he's probably not good in
Yes.
bed.
Yes.
And also, I don't want to like sleep with him that he has the satisfaction of like getting girls. It's like, no, babe, you don't deserve pussy.
Yeah.
Talking
Yeah.
about that, you don't deserve
Yeah.
pussy.
No, I love
So
that.
I just stood up and left.
That's
Like,
great.
don't do that.
No, I love that. What do you think about, and this isn't a question coming in, but like I'm just curious to, because this is where my mind's going off of what you're saying. Um, what do you think about like people who do things just to like satisfy other people, you know? So like to further explain
People
my thought.
pleasers?
Yeah, people pleaser. So like I have like a good friend who is constantly like she's like trying to date, like trying to be out in the scene, like hooking up with guys or whatever, but like she's never satisfied. Like she's never like none of these men are getting me off. Like none of these men are like checking the boxes for me and like they don't care to, but I'm like, bitch, like you're also not communicating. Like you need to tear these men down. Like you need to let this motherfucker know you suck in bed, because then maybe the next girl, maybe they'll get better. You know, maybe they'll like you're just like
Yeah,
feeding
definitely.
into like the cycle of like
Yeah,
awful men. You know.
yeah. Also, like, I stopped faking like years ago. I would
Yeah.
just like, I've had like these one night stands with these men who were like super nice, but I was just like laying there like,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe just let's just watch a movie or
Yeah. Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Like,
Not into it. Like you don't know
yeah.
what you're
But
doing.
like,
You think that you're like,
yeah,
and they'll
no.
be getting like their
Yeah.
whole life too.
I
They'll be
stopped
like
doing
getting
that.
their whole life, you know? And it's like, you're not doing
Yeah.
anything for me, baby.
It's like, yeah, and but they think they do
Yeah.
so bad. But
That's what I'm saying.
what I would say is, I think that like in our society, like people are so like I think like people are so raised into wanting to have like this monogamous perfect relationship,
Yeah.
and it doesn't make you happy. Like that doesn't make you happy. You can be happy in that, but you can be happy out of that. You can be happy with all types of relationships, and you can maybe you're polyamorous. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe you're just a little bit on the asexual spectrum. It's possible as well. Like I think the advice for that, like if she had so many bad encounters with men, and like tends to please them more than
Hmm.
herself.
Hmm.
It's I would definitely say that she needs to stop dating men for a while
Yeah.
and like really figure out what she wants and like what satisfies her personally, because when you know yourself really well, then you can go out and meet people again, but you still have in your head like what you like, and then maybe it's easier for her to like really communicate that,
Yeah. Yeah. I have another friend.
but not trying it with man after man,
No.
like it's not gonna like which is fine, but it's not gonna get better like that.
No, no, no. And also let them fucking know you suck. You suck in
Yeah,
bed. Yeah, like you're not
definitely.
getting me off. I have
And
another.
I know that it's not easy. I know that it's not easy because like it's usually like you don't hate that person. Like it's usually like a person who's like so nice, you don't want to hate their
Yeah.
feeling, and they're doing their best. They're so doing their best. You're just like, oh honey,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
thanks,
yeah.
but no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
I,
you don't have to be a bitch about it. Like you can communicate like super well. Just say like I'm not really feeling it right now. Like maybe you know,
yeah.
but like be like you can be nice to the people, but you don't have to lie to them. Like
Right.
don't lie.
Like you can't tell that my pussy isn't wet. Like you're not doing anything to stimulate my body
Right?
or my mind, baby. Like and you're just like you're getting your whole
No.
life over there. I have another friend just to counter
Yeah.
that too. The big hoe, big hoe, and he is like so he's to provide more context. So he's a trans man, and he is like the opposite end of my other friend where he's like, I know how to get myself off. I don't like I'm using this other person.
Love
They're just like a dick.
that.
You know what I mean? Because I know how to get myself off. So at the end of the day, like any hookup that I have, I know how to get myself off in it. And like they're just there to like be a body to like, you know, be in that moment with. And he also is like very much so like because he be sleeping with all different kinds of men. And I was like, sometimes I'll be seeing the people and I'm like, oh God. For me, like they're just not my type. And he's like, well,
Well,
he's like, I have like, he's like, every different person that I'm with is like a porn fantasy. So like, this is like my dirty grandpa, like, and he'll be like in this like mental like story in his mind, and I'm like,
damn.
honestly, love that
I
for
kind
you.
of respect that. I
Yeah,
respect
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Do your thing,
do
King.
your thing. Exactly. All right, so we have another very serious question. So everybody submitted some
Okay.
serious shit for you. I don't know why. They
Damn.
said, do you think we're
Because I'm German, maybe.
they said
Because isn't it always like the thing that Germans don't understand comedy or whatever?
they're like, we need some serious questions. They said, do you think we're all doomed? Life is feeling pretty dark, dot dot dot.
I mean, um, yes and no.
Yeah.
Like we're of course like in the whole history of the world, of the planet, like humans have only been a little part of it, and we're all just a very, very, very little part of this whole universe. And in the end, we don't have to like we just have to satisfy ourselves and do it like for ourselves,
Mm,
because like you don't it's always, of course it gets depressing when you look at the political situation of all the people living in really bad situations, and you can help and you can do something about that, but you always have to like have in your mind and remember that there's also super positive and beautiful things about life, because there's so much bad happening in the world. But if you only focus on that, of course you're getting super depressive and suicidal. Like that
yeah.
doesn't work for us. Like we as humans, we've like purposely we have, I mean, of course it's on one side it's bad because that way like we forget things, but on the other side it's useful for us and for our mental health that like like humans in their brains develop this kind of like mechanisms to to sometimes like not let things um, too much on our hearts, and like
Mm,
to not like have empathy so much on certain things, which I think is super super sad, because like in a way, for example, talking about animal rights and
yeah.
veganism, which is like this thing where veganism is the only right option. There's no like talking about that really, but and like when people see like what happens in those slaughterhouses,
Mm,
or how yeah, they of course they're super upset and super sad about that, but they have this thing that they can like totally blend it out and not think about that eating their next schnitzel.
mm,
Um, which I think is super bad, but it's in different ways a mechanism that our brain does to us. So we're not always focused so much on the bad things that we like get super depressed and don't know how where to go with our lives anymore.
yeah.
I think it's important to be reflective of yourself, to see like how much you harm others or whatever, and try to live your life as mm, as good as you can to satisfy yourself first.
Yeah, yeah. I would also say, to add on to that, find whatever it is that sparks joy within you, and don't be like, you obviously don't have to be like an ostrich with your head in the sand, like hiding and like not looking at all of, like not looking into the
Yeah,
abyss
no.
as well, but find the things that are really sparking joy within you. Maybe that's like community, maybe that's being an artist, maybe it's going to protests, like whatever it is, it's like that really like lights you up, and counteract, keep a balance, like you can be able to, you can look at the atrocities happening and be well informed, and maybe take action
Oh
to, in
yeah,
your own way,
definitely.
to help fight whatever it is that you feel passionate about, but also like fill your cup as well with whatever it is that like really like lights you up. That would be what I would have to add to that. I honestly am very grateful. I found like my passion for like creating art like 17, 16. And it's really, really, really been my guiding light through like a lot of dark times, like personally, like throughout my life, to get me to the point where I am right now. And like, I'm very, very grateful that I found that very early on in life. Cause I'm like, if I didn't, I would probably be a fucking mess. And I still feel like a fucking mess sometimes. So I'm like, there's
We all
that too.
do.
Yeah.
That's just being an artist.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. Good luck to you as well. Sending love to you. Okay. Somebody said, I'm gonna get straight to the point. Was out the other was out the other night and ended up waking up next to my friend's ex. Help.
How do we help with that? Babe.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Okay, so it's their friend's ex
Okay.
that they slept with. Or that they woke up. Maybe they were like fuck. Maybe they were like drunk
Yeah.
as fuck. Like, how drunk were you? Were you like blackout drunk, or like did you have any idea of what you were doing? Like, was this something that you've been thinking about for a while? Were you thinking about this while they were together? Maybe. I want to know some more details. You can't just leave us with this little chunk. I need some more details on this one.
I gotta say that I don't blame that person because I like the view I have of love and relationships and stuff like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with sleeping with your friend's exes.
Mm,
It shouldn't be. Only if like the ex did like something so bad to that person that it's like
mm,
because like, I know that like I'm mostly pretty good with like ex boyfriends and girlfriends of mine, and if friends of mine slept with them, like I really wouldn't care. I'm just like be happy. Like honestly, I really don't care because I wish the best for them. I genuinely do. But if that person like I don't know like did something so bad to your friend, then you probably wouldn't have slept with them, though,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, so I don't think there's something inherently wrong with that, but I mean, yeah, your friend kind of has to know because the thing is, like, the longer you wait, or if the ex tells your friend, that's even worse for you. Like,
Yeah.
you should get it out of your way and, like, kind of try to explain how that could happen or say it's my fault because I said I don't see any problems with that. I actually don't. I wouldn't know why because I don't.
Would you feel differently if like a friend of yours that you have currently um got into a relationship with one of your exes? Would that feel different to you than if they were,
No,
you just don't care anyway? You're like, whatever, like our ship has
I really
sailed. Like, I'm on to whatever I'm
honest.
on next.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'm actually like I'm keeping. I'm still in contact with some of my exes, and we're like sending memes sometimes. And we're super good,
Hmm.
and I
Mm-hmm.
don't like. I'm not in love with them anymore. Like it, I mean, it was like, wow, like my ex-boyfriend was 5 years ago, my ex-girlfriend was 7 years ago. I've been single for a very long time, so I really don't care. I'm good with them. I just want
Okay.
harmony, and if they're happy, they should be.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have this one friend that's always joking how he thinks that my ex-boyfriend is so hot, and always like wants like he used to want me to like explain what his dick looked like, but honestly, this one friend of mine, but my ex-boyfriend's straight, so that's not gonna happen anyways. But like if it would, if he had like a little bit of a bisexual phase and my friend got to have that, I'd be so happy for them. I really don't care, honestly.
All right.
Like, why would I?
A queen for the people. Um,
Sure.
yeah, I would say, yeah, you got to talk to your friend and like see how they feel. Like, you
Yeah.
need to like give them, like, just be like, hey, like this thing happened. I was drunk or whatever, even if you weren't drunk. Just like,
Yeah,
this
talk to
happened the other
them.
night. Like, I just want to let you know. And like, if it ruins your
Yeah,
friendship,
definitely.
then keep fucking the person too. Like, who cares? Like, not me being evil, but I'm
Yeah,
like,
that all happened.
if they want to
I
stop
mean,
being
if
friends
I've,
with you,
I
whatever, like it
th
happened. At least you told, like, at least you spoke on your truth and like you were upfront with them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like the thing is that um you like if someone did something super shitty, you wouldn't want to sleep with them. It doesn't matter if it's the ex of a friend or just like a common friend that used to be a friend. Like you wouldn't sleep with that person if they were like such an ass, right? But if it's just like everyone has a history and a dating history,
Mm.
if they're okay, I kind of, but of course, like when they're fresh, when you have like your fresh ex, it's like a little weird, but then it kind of it's just a person, and like your friend used to like that person, so maybe they would understand why you would like that person, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. Yeah, talk to your friend and see. You got to figure out. Just be like, if they're your friend, just tell them. Like, be like, hey, this happened. Okay. Somebody says, what do you think about money slaves? Which, which, for listeners, maybe we mean whoever wrote this in. I think they're asking about like findom, like the pay pigs. If you're
Yeah,
familiar with these terms.
yeah. I mean, I guess it's like a win-win situation, right? I mean, like everyone's like you can do with your money whatever you want, and if it's like a kink for you to spend it on that,
Yeah.
then like I think there's not many people that wouldn't be open to it, you know.
Right.
I mean, definitely. Like when it makes you happy and the other person's getting paid, so they're kind of getting happy as well, I guess.
Uh huh.
I mean, I think with every kink and every fetish and all of that, the most and only important part is consent, really, and maybe hygiene, but first of all, consent. And I feel like the findom thing is usually it's very consensual,
Mm.
so why not?
Yeah.
Do your thing, babe. Do
Would
your
you
thing.
would you ever be a foot finder girly?
What?
Foot finder? Are you
What is
familiar?
that?
It's like when you like you
No.
it's like maybe it's just like a like an American it has to be global. People love feet. It's where you like create
Oh, that.
yeah,
Oh,
you
that.
create a
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
you would do it and like send your toe pictures like just painted my toes like with your new post like unlock it
Actually,
to unlock to see my new picture.
babe, so the thing is that that's the reason I'm banned of Tinder since
Oh, oh,
COVID.
you said I'm about to make some money off of these
Yeah, a
men.
little bit.
Love.
I mean, nobody knew it was me. Like, there was no face and nothing. It was just like, huh, you can sell your feet. Tinder back then had this option to, like, for free, you can, like, set your standpoint, like,
Mm,
worldwide.
mm-hmm.
And then I put it, like, somewhere. It was, like, 60 feet, whatever. Like, who
Yeah,
cares? And
yeah.
then, yeah, I got a little bit of money out of that, but they figured it out and just banned my account, and then that was that. Like,
Awful.
I didn't
But
try anything
there's
else
a whole there's
afterwards.
a whole website
But it
for it.
was fine. It was kind of fun.
Honestly, I feel like you could make a lot of money
I
because
know,
like
but
you're
I don't
visible
care.
publicly and so like I feel like I know there must be these like people out here at these shows who see you and like if you had like I don't know. I mean, if you like, it's your tea if you want to go into like sex work or whatever or not. But like, I do feel like you can make a lot of money. I feel like these men out here or these people out here, men,
Probably.
women, everybody in between, they be paying for some feet, panties, whatever, pictures, videos. They love to see.
If anyone, also, I have super sweaty feet. Actually, it's like kind
Oh,
of a
I'm sure
problem for
somebody's
me.
into it.
But so if anyone's if anyone's interested in that or my panties, just text me.
Yeah,
My
send a
DMs are
message.
open, I
Send a
guess. I
message.
don't know.
Yeah. But only people who want to pay good money. Like we're not like not no
Oh
fucking
yeah.
dollar,
Oh yeah,
two
I'm not
dollars.
cheap.
No, no, you gotta have some
Yeah.
money, okay?
No, 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 no,
Uh
no,
all
no,
right.
no.
The last
Yeah.
question says, what's your strangest, spiciest situation you've ever had in drag?
Actually, I haven't had that many like spicy situation. No, no, like strange. No. yeah, spicy situations because I usually don't really do anything in drag.
Mm.
But what I can say is what happens at Kit Kat stays at Kit Kat.
Oh, what is that? Is that what you were talking about earlier?
That's a club here in
Is
Berlin.
that the one that's like
Yeah, that's a club
exclusive
here
in
in Berlin.
Germany and it's like people try to go and like they have to like wait and like a hella long line? I think it's in Berlin, yeah. Is that club? I've heard about this club that's like
Yeah, that's okay. So, what you're talking about is Berghain,
yeah, 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 yeah,
which is like
yeah.
the biggest techno club in the world.
Okay.
And yeah, but that yeah, it would be a similar situation there. But like Kit Kat is so, okay. So the thing is that we do selection at most of the clubs in Berlin.
Mm.
I do selection sometimes for clubs as well that I like don't let people in.
Mm.
But the thing with that is that like it's not exclusive, how you call it, but it's more of the thing that it has to be a safe space in there.
Yeah.
And sometimes, yeah, and so we in order to have everyone in there feel as comfortable as they can being themselves,
Mm.
we have to be like a little more cautious of who we let in and who we don't let in.
Mm-hmm.
We usually don't like tourists that much because they usually they don't know how the Berlin club scene works with that.
Yeah.
But some tourists we do let in if we see that they know where they are and they know
Mm.
why they're here. They're not here to watch us. Like we're not a zoo.
Mm.
Like that's the whole thing. Yeah. I mean, every techno club is kind of a gay club, and sometimes there's dark rooms, sometimes people fuck on the floor, and sometimes nobody fucks because it's just not that sexual of a party.
Yeah.
But um, Kit Kat is like a fetish club. Like it's made for that. They have a pool, they have a sauna. Over the pool, they have like a sex swing. It's kind
Mm.
of fun. They have lots of different like areas where there's always like those sofas and everything in between.
Mm.
And you see lots of yeah, you'll see lots of fetish kinky people going there, and it's fun. It's fun.
Do you get your life for like the gays? If you're DJing and like you look over and there's like some gays like fucking and just like how do you like go
I've
off?
never had
Oh,
that.
really? Okay,
I've
anybody
never
listening?
had that because I haven't like the thing is that I haven't played there. I wasn't booked there, and it's usually not on the dance floor. Like it's they don't usually like on the dance floor people do dance, and then at the bar people buy drinks, and then you have like all around like when you go somewhere a little bit,
Yeah.
you see like I don't know like some guy licking a woman's shoe, and then next to that like three guys fucking in all of the holes, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But like it's not happening on the dance floor really, but also I haven't played those kinds of like super sex positive parties,
Uh,
which some clubs have this thing that they have like dark rooms, and then people go in the dark rooms and have their thing there because also you don't really want to like bother the people around you, and like on the dance floor it doesn't really make much sense. Like it doesn't really happen there
yeah,
usually, you
yeah.
know. So I haven't had that, but I think it would like very catch me out of context for the places that I've been so far. Like if it's a place where that's common, of course that would be something different. But I totally love when I'm DJing, seeing like spotting the gay fairies, like really feeling the
Going
music, being
off.
totally there because they give off the best performances. Like you have like all the straights just doing
Right,
that, like
right, right. Serious.
and then you have like this diva in the corner just like voguing and doing
Going
like
the
her
fuck
whole
off.
thing
Yeah.
is so beautiful. Oh my
Yeah,
god, I love
yeah.
that.
One of my
Yeah.
little straight girlfriends, she was telling me she loves to watch like gay porn, like exclusively. She's like, she gets her
Oh
life.
really?
Yeah, she gets her life to gay porn.
Damn.
And I'm like, I guess it makes sense. Like if she's straight and she just like, she
Yeah.
wants to see some dick, like you can get more dicks in the gay porn, I guess, huh?
Oh my god, you know that there's this whole thing in Japan? You know, like they have their mangas, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The like with a little pitch that you can read, and there's this category, and it's a category which is very much made for women,
Mm,
but it's but it's yeah, but it's always about like two men being super romantic with each other and stuff. And
Oh,
then, but it's like women like super dig that
that's
for some
interesting.
reason. It's super cute.
But it's
Yeah,
like
they have this
drawn.
like
Like
as a whole thing act.
so
Yeah, yeah, it's drawn.
it's made for women, but it's like is it like what is it called?
But
Like
it's gay guys.
yeah. What is it called? Like yaoi?
What?
It's like the gay hentai is called like yao. It's YAOI. So is it like
Okay,
that?
okay,
Is it
okay.
like that where it's like actual like it's like
I think so. I think
oh, but
so.
it's written
Yeah.
for women. Maybe it's not as hardcore or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, no, no, no. It's like way more romantic and way more into like meeting and like all of the other feelings and all of that. I don't know, like something like that. But I know that's the whole thing because I saw a little like 10-minute documentary about it on Netflix once.
Yeah.
No, not on Netflix, on YouTube. But I don't know what it's called anymore. I forgot. But that was so interesting to me. But actually, I'm not into porn at all.
Uh-huh.
Like I've seen some porn, but I've never like it never got me like wet or
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
Like porn is not really where I mean, I kind of think porn sites are so funny because like all of the categories and everything that's going on is so funny.
There's a lot.
Um, yeah, there's a lot. There's everything. Everything is there, but I haven't found anything that's like for me. But also like I don't get off of visuals.
Mm.
But lots of like visually, it's that's not. But like on my own, I'm more into like podcasts or like hearing like someone say
Like
something
somebody
like
taught
super
what
dirty.
about like
Yeah,
would you like go off to like one of like the ASMR like dirty podcasts? Or not podcasts,
I'm not
like a YouTube
sure.
video or something when they're like
Yeah, I know. There are those.
yeah,
Honestly, more than porn.
uh-huh.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it has to fit my fantasy. Sometimes they're a little weird, and they're like just like they just be like, "Oh yeah, your daddy's little girl." I'm like, "Bitch, I'm
No, I'm
27.
not.
Like,
Yeah, no, actually I'm
I'm not
not.
gonna call you daddy.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're gonna be my little girl when I'm finished
That's
with you."
right. Yeah, in your demonia boots.
Like, nah. Yeah.
Um, I
So
remember.
like that. Yeah. So like for me it would be more like hearing than like more audio than visually, but actually lots of women have that.
Uh,
But also like I haven't really found something that totally like fit my taste in that, but I'm good. Like I don't even, yeah. I mostly do it by thought. I think of stuff and it gets me super horny.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, well, here you have it. This has been X Marks the Spot with Futuristic. Again, for those of you who are listening, if you do want to leave a message for a future guest, that number is 415-448-6630. And I suppose I should be giving the country code since maybe people are listening in
We're
Germany. So
international now.
it's +1 415-448-6630. Yeah, send us questions, ask for advice, tell us stories, make sure it's good. And this has been X Marks the Spot. Thank you so much for coming and chatting with me today. This has been so fun.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you,
Yeah,
Marcus. And I
yeah,
really hope we stay in touch and I can come visit you in San Francisco. And
we
if you
will.
want to come visit me in Berlin,
Love,
you can
yes,
always stay here. Like just let me know
I
or
need
just
to
come
go
here.
back. I
No
need to go
problem.
back. Do
Yeah, come.
you have anything? I guess let's start with where can people find you?
Oh yeah, so on Instagram, I guess it's futuristic with 4 R's because 2 and 3 were taken. Um, yeah, I have TikTok, but I always forget that I have TikTok, so I never post anything, but I
Yeah.
always plan on posting something. So maybe I'm gonna start with that soon
Is it
if anyone's
futuristic with four
interested.
R's on
And
TikTok too?
otherwise, I'm not sure. It's either 2 or 4 R's. I don't know. I forget.
All right.
I always forget that I have TikTok. But yeah, it's something like that. And what I really do appreciate is like if my SoundCloud grows a little, like that would be so cool.
Yes.
And there I think it's with 2 R's, but I'm also not sure
So
anymore. So sorry.
on across social
Mostly it's Instagram.
Across social
across social media,
media,
mostly
it's gonna be
Instagram or something.
futuristic with either 1 to 4 R's,
2 or 4,
2 to 4 R's on
2 to 4.
on all social
Yeah,
media.
I'm so sorry.
And now this
It's
has
just the
been
futuristic.
yeah. And do you have anything that you want to plug before we head off? I know you said your SoundCloud. Do you want to plug anything else? Any shows coming up? Or where can
Um,
people find you regularly if you have like a
I'm
regular spot?
pfft, it doesn't really work like that here in Berlin,
Mhm.
but you always see like my upcoming dates on Instagram. Like I constantly like posting the story where I'm playing next, and I have some DJ gigs coming up for the next two. My next 2 or 3 months are pretty booked out, so I'm looking forward to that. And if you follow on Insta, you can see that
Cool.
definitely.
Well, thank you again for being here with us. This has been
Thank you for
another,
having me, Marcus.
yeah, no, this has been so fun. This has been another riveting episode of X Talk. And with that, I'm going to play the little theme song again to lead us out of
Yeah.
here.
This that X Talk, body rock, give us everything you got. X Talk, never stop.
I'm like in this spot, and then I'm in like full
Everything you got.
and then the camera is doing the thing. It's doing the tracking thing again, so it's just all chaotic over here. Yes. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Hey.